Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you very much for joining me here today. I hope you're having an amazing day. Now we're taking a look here at Hbar, Hedera Hashgraph. This is a request from one of my community members, Patricia. Thank you very much for requesting I cover this. You are an awesome, amazing person. I greatly appreciate you. I also appreciate all of my patrons too. So if you're not a patron currently, I have a trading community. Check that out. Link in the description below. I send out signals for every single trade that I take, and we all remain profitable. And you learn a little something along the way too. It's a really great experience. Check that out in your own time. If you're new to the channel, I'm not a financial advisor, but I've been trading for over 15 years, and my goal is to help you become a better, effective trader. Now, we're going to take a look at Bitcoin first to get a quick baseline of the market. We're going to jump into the altcoin of choice here today, which is Hbar. Taking a look at Bitcoin, of course, we got the one-day chart. Something to note here, we have a nice support channel here between 53,800 and 56,000. The price will break into this zone, but it'll always continue to break and to close above. So it's proven to do that roughly 3 days in a row, and it's a really awesome situation. We've taken a lot of profits this week based on that sentiment alone. Now, regardless of that fact, keep this in mind. The reason why this is much more validated is we've got a tremendous amount of volume in this zone, which kind of creates a support channel, right? That helps influence that, so to speak. So keep that in mind. The amount of volume in specific areas can never be underrated, right? You always can rely on volume as a very good indicator. That being said, we got a resistance of 57,500. It is currently rejecting at this point. It tried to break above today, but couldn't. So therefore, it's still considered a resistance. That is a resistance 4 days in a row now. Because again, this candlestick is going to close here in about 5 minutes. Moving on to Hbar. Let's take a quick look. We'll go ahead and look at the obvious first and work our way down. So on the one-day chart, we are above both moving averages. This is why I was not super concerned with the price turning around here for Hbar. It's been hugging that 50-day simple moving average. Fantastic sign. We like to see that. We were also still well above the support level there, and we can see higher highs and higher lows. So take a look at this. Higher highs and higher lows. Okay. So hypothetically, the next high will need to be above this resistance level at about 41 cents in order for it to continue to make that pattern. But I think that it's a strong likelihood that we'll see that. Just based on its continuation and its history, Hbar's getting ready to take off. I think that we're going to probably see 50 cents by either month end or sometime next month at the latest, right? So again, we should be poised rather to see about a 30% increase from here. So we're looking pretty good. The key here is that this candlestick closes above this resistance level, which it looks like it's trending towards. We are about what? Almost a full cent above, which is good. So in other words, we're looking at a nice little, almost to say about 1%. It doesn't seem like much, but closing above that resistance level is important on the one-day chart because it really gives us that affirmation that we are we're above the resistance, and that will help us push the price up even further and keep that continuation going. So hypothetically, tomorrow we see kind of some sideways action followed by an increase. Because you really need to see some type of consolidation when you see an increase like this. This isn't significant by any means. Hbar has done bigger and better, but I mean, it's almost 10% from bottom to top, or just a little over, so just bear that in mind. All right, take a look at RSI. Awesome as well, back up over 50. It really kind of was only under 50 for a short while anyways, but that just kind of reaffirms the fact that we have bullish sentiment. Okay. Now also note too here, if we take a look at the MACD, we got a convergence soon to occur. Right now, convergence on the MACD on the one-day chart, it's usually a little bit delayed, but it's a very good sign for a big picture for a long-term move in the right direction. And I think we're having that happen right now. And basically just bear in mind, the bears, no pun intended, the bears are losing control and the bulls are taking control. That's essentially what's going on. The volume is leaving bearish sentiment and it's going bullish, right? So if we can get that to converge, we're going to be looking very, very good. So I think we'll probably see that in the next 48 to 72 hours. I'm speculating this weekend we'll see a green weekend for Hbar just based on its natural progression. When it has a strong day going into a Friday, it has a tendency of continuing throughout the week. Moving on to the 4-hour. Let's take a look here. And I like this as well. You can see that resistance level that's now a support on the 4-hour. It's closed two 4-hour candlesticks in a row. So 8 hours in a row, it's held above that line. That's a very good sign. We like to see that. We're also above the 200 and the 50-day simple moving average. And I tell my patrons this all the time, but just to reaffirm this as well, if you're new, the 200 and the 50-day simple moving average are the two most important indicators you can use on the 4-hour and the one-day chart. So always remember that. Those are pretty much the main things that I utilize on the chart, outside of maybe just say understanding the VPVR for the volume, as well as just MACD and RSI. But generally speaking, those are really two good indicators to help you understand where you're at. So And the fact that they're closing above is a very, very good sign. So we're in good shape here for Hbar. Also note we're above 50 and under 70 for the RSI. I love that. I like it when I see that, especially when we came from roughly, no less than what, 24, 28 hours ago. The price was underneath 50 on the RSI, essentially being held down by that resistance. Okay, so really good stuff here. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the 1 hour chart, see where we're at with the cloud, or I guarantee we're well above it, which is excellent. And oftentimes when we have a bullish momentum like this, the price will travel into the cloud and bounce off. So oftentimes that happens a lot. The cloud can work as a support level in a lot of cases. So just keep that in mind. But the general rule of thumb, if you're new, price above Ishimoku cloud is buy signal. Price below is considered a sell signal. So just take a look at this here. I know hindsight's 2020, but if you look here, say you'd bought in right there as a short, and you would have shorted down to the bottom, that would have been almost a 15% increase in price. And retrospect, of course, here for this guy, say you bought right as soon as the price broke above the cloud, you'd be up somewhere in the range of about 11 to 12%. Okay, so just little things to note, important stuff to understand, because the cloud is a very, very helpful tool, and I think it's very underused. Moving on to TD sequential, we're probably at a reset here. Let's take a look. Yep, and this is awesome. So if you're new to the TD sequential, right? It stands for Tom DeMark sequential. Basically, just takes a series of numbers from 1 to 9 and essentially hits a reset. So once you hit a 9, that's considered to be exhausted. In other words, that market has reached a state of exhaustion. And then if you look at this price going sideways here, that consolidated and then it ramped up again. So we see a 1 counting up to a 9. And what it is, it broke above that resistance level and it held. So what's cool is it didn't need to retrace. It basically is just consolidating. So it's going sideways here, right at the nice support there. Therefore, we're looking at a pretty good continuation here above that support level to allow it to we want to see a consolidation period maybe here for another 4 to 8 hours. But once that happens, we'll see the price increase from there. So we should see an increase and another leg up here soon. We just want to see that calm down a little bit, because every good bull run, and again, I teach this to my patrons, has to have an up over pattern, right? We need to see that at all times. Otherwise, if you see a parabolic move, again, never trust people that tell you parabolic, increases are great. Again, they're awesome, don't get me wrong, right? In a sense, but they're not good for a healthy continuation. Right. If you think back about when BNB took off back in May after the temporary crash in April, it just kept on creeping up every single day at 5 to 10% a day, and it went from like 300 to 600 in a matter of like 2 weeks. People didn't see it; it was creeping. Right. We want to see that happen for Hbar. We don't want the price to shoot up to the moon in one day and then come back down to the stratosphere the next. We need to have a slow continuation that gets us there. Okay. Anyways, again, massive increase followed by a retracement. That happens almost every single time. Why not have a nice, healthy up over pattern, right? So again, just something to consider, something to understand, because those are really important things. So this has all the healthy habits, so to speak, of a nice continuation. I love the fact that we just closed above the support level here, previous resistance. Okay, so let's go ahead and just jump on into the prediction here. So big picture, obviously, Hbar has a tendency of doing very well. It's gotten stopped out a few times at this major resistance. I don't think this will be any exception, though. I think we will see the price come up here, kind of get tested, and it'll eventually break through. We may not see it break through right away, but I know for a fact within the next month or two tops, we're going to see 50, 60, 70 cents easy. I would even speculate we might even see $1 by year end, but I think that's a little lofty. I try not to anticipate that large of a gain, just because I like to be realistic in the sense that we're probably not going to see that significant of an increase just based on its history. It's already fairly high, and I think it can't go tremendously higher, if that makes sense. We can only see that much more of a gain, right? Had you got in back here, different story. This would be amazing. Anyways, I'm speaking in circles here. I apologize, but for lack of better terms, my prediction would be by end of November, I guess you could say a month and a half from now, we're going to easily surpass 50 cents. We're probably going to be likely between 60 and 70, because I further see this one being just much like Solana, where it took off and it just kept on going, and you wouldn't expect it, but it happened, right? So get in while you can now. Even if the price comes down to 30 cents, still a good value. You'll still 2x this investment. Okay. Now, if you're new to the channel, again, thank you so much for joining me here. Thank you again, Patricia, for requesting that I cover this. I always like to fulfill your requests, and thanks again for everything. I mean it. You know who you are. Really appreciate you. All right, so I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Check out my Patreon account if you haven't already. All my social media stuff's down below, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care. Thank you.